on that level, but it's just so incredibly vague and almost impossible to figure out what makes an admiral so feared when characters that you'd imagine were lesser than them in some ways are more impressive in terms of their strength. I mean, all these people saying how Katakuri wouldn't beat an admiral, and I'm just thinking, first of all, he's got awakening. Second of all, he has future sight. He uses armament haki fairly often during his fights. The admirals are kind of just, well, we used it pre-time skip, but it's like we've forgotten that we even have haki now.
You mind if I give my 2 cents a little bit on some of the things you said?
Absolutely, please do.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely vague with the admirals, first of all. I mean, one thing in One Piece that's good to remember is there's multiple ways to get a good amount of power. Now, with the admirals, right, there's definitely conflicting messaging with them. I think that there is definitely a power threshold for them because, say, for example, you're even looking at and yeah, this is going up to the latest chapter. So, like, take Garp and Aokiji, for example, right? Garp was doing some serious damage, some high level attacks. And I know Garp did get sneaked by Shiryu, but my point is, Aokiji was keeping up with him. You have Akainu versus Whitebeard. Although Whitebeard did a ton of damage on him, right? Akainu put what 2 holes into his body and burnt off half of his face. So they're definitely able to keep up in some of those regards. I know Kizaru lost to Luffy, but like Kizaru was keeping up with Luffy and getting some good hits on him for a good amount of time. And I think that, for example, what you're saying about Katakuri, I don't think Katakuri would be able to keep up with Gear 5 Luffy like Kizaru was doing.
Oh,
absolutely. Right. Like, in my opinion. So,
yeah,
even
you're
though
right.
there's a lot of vagueness with the admirals, I mean, in terms of the haki, you'll notice most of the time you don't see Oda showing haki on Logias for whatever reason.
Not anymore for some reason.
Not anymore. I
Or
don't
not
know
at all.
what
Or
it
not.
is.
It's just a thing.
It's just like seems to not be a thing. And what I'm about to say is definitely conjecture, but I mean if Kizaru's making Luffy in Gear 5 kind of be hurt, I know his Devil Fruit's powerful, but I would kind of think that he's using some sort of haki there. I think a lot of it is what Oda's done with the Admiral so far is show us their strength by showing how they pair up to other powerful figures that we have their strength defined, and he hasn't gotten to defining their strength yet, which is something I hope he gets to. The one
Yeah.
admiral or former admiral we ever heard about anything with haki, really, if you remember, it's got to be 4 or 5 years ago now. A Vivre card came out saying Sengoku has Conqueror's haki, which really has not been confirmed. And Vivre cards do have a history of giving faulty information. Like it said, Nekomamushi could not use armament haki, and then literally like what 30 chapters later we see him using armament haki.
Yeah.
So I do agree it's very vague, but there definitely is some type of power threshold there, in my opinion.
Yeah. And there's only one other thing I want to say, if that's okay. I know we're in the beginning of the stream. I personally feel like this is just a lesser crocodile situation again, where Oda's decreased or not showing their full strength because he still wants to keep them around until a certain point. I would not be surprised if that was the case with Kizaru and Garp, and because I personally believe that Garp did not get sneaked by Shiryu, and I do not believe that he actually would have lost that fight if he was going all out. I do not believe that for a second.
You think Garp would have won if he was going all out?
Absolutely, because I mean, hey, that's just my personal view.
I actually do agree with you.
It would just seem so strange for Kuzan, dude who like if Garp is supposed to be even remotely comparable to Whitebeard's strength, he should not be losing now because of his age. Yeah, that would definitely be a factor, but I think he's at least beating Kuzan by going all out.
I mean,
I'm not suggesting that Garp trounces him and doesn't take any hits because
Right.
he is 80 something now and Kuzan is much younger. I just feel like, you know, it's probably just a case of, I mean, okay, last thing I'm going to say on this, I think both were holding back. I really do. I think both were holding back.
Mm.
I really do. But whether that's true or not, you know, remains to be seen.
So since
Yeah,
it
I mean, I
remains to be
respect
seen, what would your number 10 be?
my number.
Oh, we're going from 10 to 1. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, 10 to 1.
Well, actually, let's see, 10 to 1. Sure,
You
we
know
can go
what?
10 to 1. 10 to
You know
1,
what?
sure.
10 to 1 would make sense because I feel like the first strongest in our opinions on our lists should be a surprise, even if it ended up being the same person, which I doubt it will.
I doubt.
Okay, so who's starting with 10? Is it me?
Yeah, you already have your 10.
Oh, man.
We can come back to you, though.
Okay.
Can everybody hear me pretty good?
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
honestly, it's going to sound insane, but just based off of feats and strength, and I'm gonna have to put Yamato.
Oh, really?
Yamato? I mean, wait.
She was
Yamato.
doing very well against Kaido. She has, you know, a very, very good amount of control over Conquerors. Her Devil Fruit does play a role because it's obviously a mythical zone. She's been one of the most impressive characters to me in the series thus far. And yes, so I would have to put her at just based on what I've seen. I'm not going based off of, oh, this character could be like this or that. No. What my eyes have seen is what I'm going off of.
So you have
And-
Yamato over Zoro, right?
What?
You have Yamato over Zoro?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Based?
Because Zoro just hasn't been that impressive to me. He doesn't feel like a top 10, you know, worthy individual.
Struggling against Lucci. You're here first, folks.
Yeah. Riddle me this though, Cat, real quick, not to get too deep into it. But my one thing with Yamato, I mean, the person I'm about to name drop, I doubt is on any of our top 10s. But Green Bull, when she was fighting Green Bull, she did get a good hit on him, right? And that was like a 5v1. And if you notice, he wasn't concerned about beating them, even though he felt that Conqueror's Haki and saw her power. He wasn't concerned about saucing all of them up at once until he felt Shanks' Haki. And I feel like if Yamato was as much of a threat, I feel like his reaction might have been a little different. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's Oda. Oda forgets things. Oda is definitely not that organized when it comes to writing.
That is true.
It's just a fact. So if it was any other writer doing this, you know, I would say, yeah, Green Bull is absolutely, you know, that strong. But again, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to be lazy and not show certain things just because I want the story to move along. You need to show stuff, you know, and you know, Green Bull to me, yeah, his fruit's impressive, but is that how we got by just because he has an impressive devil fruit? I mean, I thought we were past that, Oda. And it's also true that I completely forgot about that because my memory is just like Oda's. You know, all those people saying Oda never forgets. Look, every single human being forgets.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even the people. So don't give me that Oda doesn't forget stuff because every writer forgets and every person forgets.
True. I mean, Oda remembers a lot of stuff though. If we're being fair right now.
You know, honestly, I hope he has stuff written down and he's rereading as he's writing future chapters and whatnot, because otherwise,
Oh, by the way, Blue Pineapple. Before I ask your 10, do you want me to give you like a headline name? I don't know if you know it, but we have headlines. I don't know if y'all know this.
Oh yeah, I see that 2000 right hand man. Just put me left hand man because he's right hand man.
But yeah, that was a very good point. I mean, anyway, I'm gonna shut up so you can you can do your thing.
All right, my top 10. We were actually just talking about this. I got Aokiji at my number 10.
Nice.
Yeah, I got Kuzan at my number 10. I think that I know we were just talking about this, but to me, as much as I hate to say it, because I'm like a big kind of like Admiral supporter in a lot of senses, but I do think that when it comes to Sakazuki and Kuzan, they're a cut above the other admirals. Just from how I've seen Sakazuki perform against Old Whitebeard, to Kuzan matching him in their 10-day battle, to how we later see, presumably.
I mean, we don't know how that went down. No.
But I mean, it was a 10-day fight where nobody was.
Yeah, but there's another character who's inconsistent.
But it's a 10-day drawn battle. But then to seeing how Kuzan performed against Garp, who was supposed to be equatable. So when I see how Kuzan performs against Old Garp and how Akainu performs against Old Whitebeard, that gives me the sense that they're a cut above these other admirals in terms of how they how strong they are. And this, what I'm about to say, is controversial, but I do consider Kuzan and Sakazuki in the Yonko sphere in that terms of strength. I know a lot of people disagree with that.
I don't think that's controversial personally.
No, okay. It depends on who you're talking to, but that's my opinion. So I got Aokiji at number 10.
Okay, nice.
And this was just a random dot, but I forgot to put on listed until like a minute in, so I hope it went to everybody's sub box.
Oh well, if it didn't, oops.
You can always start another one. But,
yeah, sure.
I think it went to the sub box. I don't know if the notifications work because I have 2 accounts. And
see, like I said, don't take this the wrong way, Z. But like I said, everybody forgets.
Right.
That's not me taking shots, by the way. I'm just, even the great Lord Z can forget sometimes.
Yeah. So
I like the way that sounds, Lord Z. Oh yeah, it's like he's Lord Zed, but he's even more mysterious and encompassing.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna after I get my 10, I'm gonna start a new one. And I'm gonna see if it pops up in my sub box, and if it does, we can move to that one.
We still got the list.
Yeah,
right?
We still got the list. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we ain't gonna change the list. We ain't gonna start over and go back in time.
It's like, oops, hey, wait, let me move this person.
What was it, Penny Man? Y'all probably wondering why I already got 10. I'll probably be something like that. So my number 10 is Mama.
Oh.
Yes, she has a lot of dumb moments, but so does Luffy. So does other characters. She's still a Yonko. I still put respect on her name. Despite how Oda does her sometimes, she's still a Yonko. Still putting respect on her name. Kaido would have had gotten a lot more hurt on Rooftop if it wasn't for her saving his ass sometimes. And her fruit is very creative and useful.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. Big Mom, I think a lot of people, the thing with her is she was an idiot, but if you look at most of the time she lost strategically rather than losing in raw power. When you look at her failures, so I think that I'd agree with that. I think that's a good number 10.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and hey, it's all personal perspective, right? I mean, who the legit 10 strongest are, we may never know.
We may never know. Oda doesn't care as much as we do.
That's true.
But
That's true. It's true.
I mean, yeah, that's very true though. Yeah, I'm testing it out right now. Okay, so basically, I didn't get the notification, so there might just be something to where. Let me see something. Let me see something. Cause I started a new one to see if you get the notification. Okay, I didn't
Could
get the
just be
notification on my screen.
Could just be YouTube screwing up.
Yeah, because I have the bell on. I think that happens sometimes. Like you don't post enough that it won't show up like that. I don't know. My YouTube notifications could simply just not be on. That could be possible too.
Yeah, maybe you want to check check that
Um,
in the settings.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. It's probably just new. So I'm gonna delete this new stream. That'd be kind of awkward. Be like, why show it twice?
We're
But
going. Blink.
I don't know. I'm just gonna move to the next one just in case.
All right.
Because I
Alright, man.
listed it. All right. I'm finna send y'all guys the link. So this one would still be up, but
So wait, we have to leave and come back.
yeah. Hold on for a sec. Sorry for technical difficulties. Anybody watching in the future, you can always skip ahead.
And you mean the two people that'll be watching it?
So I'm trying to see something. But you always skip ahead in the future. I didn't know Cole was doing one. Damn.
He's insane
doing
for
top
doing
50.
50. But
It's a lot
then
of
again,
damn
that's also because I think a lot of his perspective is wrong. But
I mean, I feel like I could probably do 50 with enough time. But
You know,
that's a lot of work.
I mean, is it possible? Yeah, but
Top 50 is like a whole nother ball game because with top 10, you're pretty much just looking at Yonkos, Admirals, or the couple equivalents that aren't either of those.
yeah,
With top 50, you're going all the way down to like commanders.
I'm gonna say something right now. I don't think any commanders are gonna be on my list at all.
Of top 10?
No
Nope.
commanders.
Oh yeah, I agree. I don't got no commanders on that.
Because the only commander I would have put on there would have been Katakuri at 10, but Yamamoto is definitely stronger than Yamamoto. Yeah, wrong series. Yamato is definitely stronger than Katakuri in my eyes.
Oh, 100.
Even if it's just slightly, but definitely.
The Conqueror's coding puts her on another tier.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm gonna send a link to the new one.
All right.
I'm gonna put it in the private chat.
Here we go again. Better not be a third time.
Nah, it won't be that time. So guys, move on to part 2 or part 1.5 of the next one.
All right. See you in a sec.